Booktube, it's Kari. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing the last 10 books book tag. I was tagged to do this video by my buddy Daniel over at Guilty Feet. He has no rhythm. And this tag was created by Mark Nash, so I will link both of those videos in the description box. Question number 1 is the last book that you didn't finish, and sadly this was Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I was attempting to read that as part of my 2021 reading goal to read at least 21 of the books on this poster behind me here. I will show a close-up of that poster for any of you that are interested in what books are included, but I was trying to get Mrs. Dalloway in, and I listened to it as an audiobook, and it just wasn't the right time. I was mentally exhausted, and all of the characters, it just overwhelmed me at that particular time. So I talk about it in one of my weekly wrap-up videos, so I will link that video in the description box or in the cards if you're interested. Number 2 is the last book that you reread, and actually right now I'm attempting to reread George Orwell's 1984. I was hoping to fit it into January to do a comparison of 1984 and Brave New World, but I've had other books on my plate that I wanted to read and I just haven't gotten through it, so unfortunately that's something that won't happen in January. Number 3 is the last book you bought, and that was The Greek Way by Edith Hamilton, and I was prompted to purchase this book based on 2 other books that I've read recently. The first one was essentially a gossip rag. It was kind of a poorly written expose about Bobby and Jackie Kennedy and their supposed love affair. It was called Bobby and Jackie, A Love Story by C. Thomas Heyman, and the one good thing I got out of that book was the mention of this book and how it was often quoted by Bobby Kennedy. It was a gift to him from Jackie. I know that there's some controversy about some of the historical accuracy of Edith Hamilton's portrayal of Athenian democracy and things like that, so I know it's not necessarily the best Greek historical text, but I was interested in it because of the Kennedy connection and because it seems like the type of book that deals with, tragedy and grief, and it was something that Robert Kennedy kind of leaned on in the aftermath of his brother's assassination. I was also inspired to purchase this book because of The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Of course, that deals with an elite group of Greek students, and so I thought to myself, maybe I should purchase some Greek books, and so this one, having the Kennedy connection, seemed like the perfect fit. Number 4 is the last book you said you read but didn't. I don't really do this, even if it's a book that I should have read because it's, about Kennedy or whatever. I don't typically say I've read a book if I haven't, but maybe something that I was supposed to have read in school but actually didn't follow through on or didn't finish or don't remember a lot about, and maybe I'll say, oh yeah, I read that because it was something that I was supposed to read in school but maybe I didn't finish it. Number 5 is the last book you wrote in the margins of, and I can tell you probably the only book I ever write in the margins for is a JFK book. If there's something of interest and I don't have any, book flags or book tags, I might make a note or underline something, but typically I don't write a lot in other books. Number 6 is the last book you had signed, and I'm not one that attends a lot of author events, and I don't really put a lot of stock in getting books signed, but I do have kind of a cool story about The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is signed, and this was actually given to my husband by the author, and I will show you the signature, but I'm going to block out a part of it because Donna Tartt is intensely private, and so I don't want to kind of talk about the circumstances behind how my husband received this copy of the book. and the signature from her because I don't want to violate her privacy. But I will say that she has a house in the area, and my husband was able to meet her, and he told her that his wife loved to read, and she gave him a copy of this book. And actually, I didn't know a lot about Didnt, so yeah, there's a personal connection as to why I became interested in Didnt's writing, and this is the only book that I have that is signed. I have gotten a few children's books signed by the authors because there is a summer literacy institute that I've sometimes attended by one of the local universities, and they will have authors there, and I'll get a signature because it's not really something I have to wait in line for, and you know, I don't know that I would go to great lengths to get a book signed. Number 7 is The Last Book You Lost, and I don't really lose books. If I'm done with a book and I no longer have any use for it, I will give it away or donate it or gift it to a friend, but I don't really lose books. Number 8 is The Last Book You Had to Replace, and I can't think of a book I've ever had to replace. If I cared enough about a book, I would keep it, or I would have already read it, so there would be really no need to replace it. I haven't had any major events like house fires or flooding or anything like that that has destroyed any of my book collection, so I am very lucky in that way and blessed, so I haven't actually had to replace any books. Number 9 is The Last Book You Had an Argument Over, and I don't really argue about books. I think everyone has their own book taste, and I don't really judge people for that. I think it's just awesome that people read. So I don't have arguments, but I do disagree with people about books, and we have book discussions and conversations. One of my friends just posted something online about how she really liked the book Someone We Know by Sherry LaPena, and I didn't really care for that book a whole lot, so I just sent her a note that said, this one was better than The Couple Next Door, but I would definitely steer clear of that one because it's more convoluted than a JFK conspiracy. So, you know, I can disagree and have discussions about books, but I don't really get into arguments. I'm not someone who seeks out or enjoys conflict, so that's definitely not my gig. And number 10 is The Last Book You Couldn't Get a Hold of, and right now I'm actually trying to find some other Chandler Broussard titles, and so I've been scoping out thrift books, and some of his titles seem to be a bit difficult to acquire. So that's it for this tag. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to tag a few people right now. I'm going to tag Margaret Pinard, John at Hey Y'all Listen Up, Lady Jane Books, Rosie Cockshoot, Brian at Bookish, Kit's World, and Literary Lives of Sarah. Some of you may have already done this tag. I haven't seen it pop up in my subscriptions lately, so I hope you're interested in doing it because these are all booktubers that I enjoy watching and listening to. So I hope everyone is having a great week, and I finally got some snow here, so I'm going to pop in a picture of that. I was so excited this morning to see a little snow on the ground. It was beautiful. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.